Okay guys, now I want to dive a little bit into the Kenra color portfolio, go over some of our shades, some of our newest collection, and then I want to go over the swatch book with you and show you where all the tools are inside that are put right at your fingertips for being able to use every single day in the salon. The swatch book is both great to use at the chair at a consultation and in the dispensary while you're mixing. It's just another great tool that Kenra offers to you, the stylist, to keep us rolling with our day, to make everything as easy as possible. So you'll notice inside the swatch book that there's a variety of shades that are all beautifully laid out here. And then in the back of the new swatch books are a couple of informational pages that will come in really handy. The gray chart is back here, the 5 easy steps to color formulation, the underlying pigment chart, the level system, everything is here. So Kenra works on an alphanumeric system, meaning we have the first number that you see is the level 1 through 10, the first letter, and then 2 letters possibly will follow. The first being that primary pigment that you see, the first color that you see when you look at it, and then the second being that more sheer tone, secondary tone that is there that you'll see second. So say you had a 6RB, that's a level 6, red, brown. It'll look red at first sight, and then you'll see some of the brown tones the more you look at it at a level 6. Everybody pretty familiar with that? Awesome. So then also here on the underlying pigment chart, we have that it's listed 1 through 10, like our system is. And you'll notice that there's no level 2. Does anybody know why there is no level 2? That's right. The human eye cannot differentiate between a 1 and a 3, so we just got rid of it. Okay? And then in the second row, it'll show you the underlying pigment starting out that level 1, what you would have lifting up 2 or more levels, what you'd start to see. And that's going to lay it out in that center column. And then that last column is going to show you what color it would need at which level to counteract that underlying pigment. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we dive into our ashes in a little bit, but just keep that in mind that these charts are all here in the swatch book for you whenever you would really need them, okay? So first we're going to go over our natural series. Now it is a natural series, not a neutral series. So natural meaning that would probably be a little bit more on the warm side, where neutral would mean it would be a balance of both cool and warm tones. So it seems a little trivial, but it is important to know that there is a difference between natural and neutral. So the natural shades are formulated with the perfect blend of each primary color to give you the perfect platform for covering gray each and every time. So you'll want to reach for our N series or our Ns, our natural ultra ashes, our natural ashes, and the natural brown series to mix into your formulations to give you 100% gray coverage every single time. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about gray coverage. However, the N series and the NA series are great by themselves and in your gray coverage formulations. The NA would be great for that client that you're lifting up 2 levels and they tend to just have a touch of warmth. That ash would be great to kind of cut that warmth and give you that nice kind of natural looking brown. Also with our natural series, we have the red naturals and the copper naturals, and those without mixing any more of the N series in it will give you up to 75% of gray coverage every single time. So those are great without losing any of the vibrancy to grab when you're working on reds that also need to have gray coverage. And then we have our new natural ultra ashes, which are amazing. So again, with that natural, so you have those that you can add in for gray coverage, or they work great standing alone, but they are just about as ashy as it gets. And those come 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 in permanent, or both in permanent and demi shades depending on the level. And then we also have our ash, and we have a double ash series, which are great for controlling tone when lifting, as well as using them on your own. So a lot of people ask when switching from color lines, is Kenra a blue base or a green based ash? And our answer is yes. So what Kenra has done at every level is formulated our ashes to counteract the tone that is at that level. So our ashes, the deeper they are, will counteract the tone that is needed. So the deeper the tone, the lower the level, the more green base, and then as we get up, the more violet to blue violet they get as we go up to counteract the warmth that you would be experiencing at that level. Okay, so like level 7 up is going to be more of like a violet base because that's what we're going to counteract at that level. Do you understand? Awesome. And then we've also got our silver metallics that we can get into, which would be equivalent to a silver or a triple ash, but we're going to talk about our metallics in a little bit. But if you were looking for something where you really needed to control warmth, you would be able to also use our metallic our silver metallic series, which would be equivalent to like a triple ash because of its blue violet base. So you have a lot of options. There's a lot of versatility when it comes to the Kenra color portfolio and our N series and our ash series with mixing and covering gray and controlling tone as we lift and deposit. Now, kind of breaking away from the cooler side and diving into something that's a little more warm, we have our brown series, our B series, which levels 4 through 6 are going to be more like brown, and then 7 through 10 will be considered more beige because of the way that they're formulated also for controlling warmth at the level system. And then we have our brown coppers. So working with the alphanumeric system, you're going to know that that first number is going to be your level, and the first letter is going to be your first color you see, the second is going to be your underlying. So you've got your level 6 brown copper. So you're going to see that real richness with just pops of copper coming through. It's the BCs are one of the most popular colors that I use in my shop. And then we move on into our warm tones. Our gold and our gold browns, also amazing to use. I know that in today's society, everyone's like, oh, I see this warmth, you have to get this warmth out. It's all I see is gold. Well, sometimes, not everyone looks great in an ash blonde. So, it's great to still utilize your golds or your gold browns because there are still people who need those tones up against their skin. And with your GBs, the gold browns, it keeps it from being too much gold with that, cutting it with that brown, I think. The 8GB is one of my favorite colors to use when adding dimension to blondes. It just gives you that perfect little pop with some tone and some depth. Then we're going to get into our copper and our copper golds. The coppers give intense, beautiful shades. The copper golds are beautiful. Also, I will run and grab for my CGs when I'm looking to create that strawberry blonde. It adds just enough. And then moving into our reds. So I've, over the years, like most of you, have used lots of color companies who have offered me long-lasting, vibrant reds. And I'm here to tell you, and it's not just because I'm here with Kenra, it is because Kenra gives the most beautiful, vibrant, long-lasting results with their reds over any other color line out there. A perfect mixture of direct and indirect dyes with the reds give you that perfect, amazing color every single time. The reds, the red reds, the red coppers, the red violets and the red browns are amazing. They mix with the N series will give you great coverage. They will give you lasting vibrancy. Mixing them with direct and indirect dyes gives you that vibrant pop that everyone is looking for. And the 6RR is one of my go-tos because people look for that bright, vibrant red in a permanent shade, and 6RR is my go-to for that. So you will really love to grab onto those. And then we'll come back and talk about our high lifts when we talk about blonding later on, but I want to talk about our metallic shades. So our metallic shades are not always used to give you the shades that you see here in the swatch book. My clients that slide through the book while I'm mixing, or they want to look through the color book for inspiration to see what they should do, they always come to this page and pull it out like, do people really get these colors? Well, not always. So there are several ways that we can use our silver metallic, our violet metallic, our bronze metallic, or our rose metallic in the salon. We can use them in formulations, like say I have a level 3 and I'm taking her to a level 7. And I know with 4 levels of lift, I'm gonna be, especially coming from a level 3, I am gonna have all kinds of red, orange, gold coming through that formulation, right? So I know in the back of my mind that just using a straight ash just isn't gonna be enough. So that's when I would go reaching for my silver metallics and my violet metallics, mixing those into my formulation to giving me more of an ash as I'm lifting to control the tone. So they're not always just used for this. Then you can use the demi-permanents to actually use as toners as well. So say you have someone that's a level 8 and she is just so brassy and you're not sure what to do. That 8 silver metallic or that 8 violet metallic is going to be a great go-to toner to use to help cut some of that golden yellow out right at the bowl, using them as toners. Now obviously at a level 10 pre-lightened, you put these on for the shade that is in the swatch book. Absolutely. There's going to be those clients that want these pastel shades, these more sheer tones, and the metallics are great to grab for that as well. Mixing them into your color formulations to give you fun little bits of pop of color is always great too. I use the 7B mixed with the 7VM a lot in my shop. It's the perfect, very cool tone to use on my wintry blondes, my snowy kind of blondes. It's a great kind of color to break that up with. And then we also have our boosters and toners. Our silver, I want to talk about our toners just a little bit. We have our rapid toners here. Now you'll notice as I've gone through the book, some of these shades have a P and a D underneath them. That indicates whether it comes in a permanent shade or a demi-permanent shade. And so some of them are only available in permanent, some of them are available in demi, and some of them are available in both. So you can guarantee that if it comes in both permanent and demi-permanent, and you're using the permanent on your regrowth area and the demi-permanent on your mid-shaft to ends, that your color will be even throughout, given that the porosity of the hair is even. But then we have our porosity equalizing spray, which is an aloe-based product, which evens things out for your color to take beautifully. And we'll talk a little bit more about the porosity equalizing spray later on as well. But back to our toners, we have our silver violet, our violet pearl, and our green blue, and our beige toners that are great to use right at the bowl, 5 minutes or less. You can also, because the versatility of the Kenra portfolio, you can mix these with some of our other shades to get more toning or to get more tonal effect from the color itself. However, your silver violet and your violet pearl toners are going to be better on levels 8 to 10. Your beige is going to be better on levels 9 to 10, where your green blue is going to be levels 6 and under to counteract those brassy tones. They're a great tool to use at the back bar. And then you'll also notice that we only have the 9PV and the 10V in the demi to use at the bowl on level 10 or lighter for the 10V for toning and the 9 for toning as well. So those are great tools to grab. You know, with Kenra, you can see that there is a vast variety of shades and tones, and there are so many options, and the portfolio is so versatile that it'll be really great, and you guys are really gonna love it once you dive in and get your feet wet.